Good morning, everyone. This is Mrs. Rajalakshmi Murthy. Today the lecture will be introduction about fluids and electrolytes. Okay. The first one is let's I clear the title first. What is meant by fluids and what is meant by electrolyte? So balance you all very well know about balance. So what is meant by fluids and electrolytes? So fluids and electrolytes, it's not exactly plain water. It's a water content along with some mineral content. It is there. So why the fluids and electrolytes is necessary in our body? Without fluids, we cannot live. Is it so? Why? What is the function? So the fluids and electrolytes play a vital role in our body. Here, the functions of fluids are here. The water, it's more necessary in our body. Here, the brain is consuming 90% of water to function properly. Not only for the brain, for heart, lungs, for each and every body organ to function, to need fluids and electrolyte balance. Okay, even to transport the food and digestion for each and everything, this fluid and electrolyte balance is important, necessary to be in specific range, not in low, not in high. The fluids and electrolyte balance in a normal range. Okay. So for this video, what is meant by fluids and electrolytes, why it is needed, a small introduction will be see about this fluids and electrolytes. Okay. The first one is introduction. Here, the fluids and electrolytes is dynamic process that is crucial for life. It means the fluids and electrolytes, the range, it will be vary. It depends upon when we are eating, when we are sleeping, when we are doing exercise, workout, during all the times. It will be keep on vary. When we suffer with any diseases during that conditions also, the fluids and electrolytes values vary. It depends upon that the person may have some health issues also. Okay. Next one is how much percentage of water present in our body. When we were in mother's womb, during that time the water percentage is 100 percentage. Means that is a fetal period. The fetus is swimming around the amniotic fluids. So the water content would be 100 percentage. Then at born, the once the baby is coming out of the womb at birth, that would be 75 percentage. After that, when we become adult, so that time 60 percentage. When we become old, that is a 50 percentage. Why the old age period? The percentage of water level is low. So please give me the answer in the comment. Okay. It depends upon the individual, it depends upon the gender, it will be vary. Here, the amount and composition of body fluids, approximately 60 percentage of typical body weight consists of fluids and electrolytes. I already told you. Suppose if if the man is 75 75 kg means that is 60 percentage of body fluids occupied with the fluid only. Okay, these fluid balance, how it is affecting based on the age, gender and body fat. Based on the age, when we become a small age, during that time our fluid level is more when compared to become adult. Okay, then based on the gender, male is having higher fluid level when compared to female. Then depends upon the fat, obese person will have a less fluid volume when compared to thin person. So that is the thing they have mentioned here. In general, younger people have higher percentage of body fluids than older people. Older people have 50 percentage only when compared to younger people. Okay, next please. So what is a component? What are they? In that fluid components, there are two types will be there. That is intracellular fluid and extracellular fluid. Intra, the name itself we can say intra means inside. Okay. Extra means that is outside. Oh, clear? Intra means the inside the cell, the fluid which is present, that we can call it as intra. For this image, you can see this and all cell. This is a cell, this one is a cell. So here, this is a nucleus, this is a cell membrane, this one is a cell membrane. The fluid which is present inside the cell, that we can call it as intracellular fluid. Okay, the fluid which is present outside of the cell. For this place, for everything we can consider as a extracellular fluid. Okay, clear? This one is clear. So what is this? This one is a cell membrane. Cell membrane, so this part we can consider as a cell membrane. See, this is a nucleus. This one is a cell membrane. See this cell membrane, the image it shows here. Though out of the cell membrane, the fluid which is present, that we can call it as extracellular membrane. The fluid which is present inside the cell membrane, that we can call it as intracellular fluid. Clear? I hope this you understand well. Then the intracellular fluid and extracellular fluid, what is the amount will be there? Intracellular fluid, there are 2/3 amount of fluid occupied in our body when compared to extracellular fluid. Extracellular fluid is 1/3 it is occupied in our body. That is approximately 40%. Here extracellular fluid is 20%. So total body water is 60% of body weight. It is over. Okay. Here, so this image for understanding purpose I have uploaded. This is a nucleus, this is a cell. Inside the cell, this orange color, that is the intracellular fluid. So outside of the cell there is a blue color space, so that is the extracellular fluid. Clear? This might clear properly. Nucleus, this one is the intracellular fluid, this is the extracellular fluid. So approximately 2/3 of body fluids in the intracellular fluid compartment primarily located in skeletal muscle mass. These 2/3 of intracellular fluid, where it is exactly present? More of the 2/3 of intracellular fluid which is present in the skeletal muscle mass. Okay, here the extracellular compartment, that is a 1/3, it is occupied in the body fluids, that is in 3 compartments. What are all the first one is intravascular, next one is interstitial, the third one is intracellular fluid space. Will be seen one by one detailing. The first one is intravascular space. What is meant by intravascular? Intra means that is inside. Vascular means that is it may be vein or blood vessels. That we can call it as intravascular. Clear? Here approximately 3 to 6 liter of blood volume is made up of plasma, erythrocyte, thrombocyte and leukocytes. What are the erythrocyte, plasma, thrombocyte, leukocytes? What is this? This and all blood product. Clear? Here 3 to 6 liter of fluid is, that is intracellular fluid, is occupied by the blood, that is it may be plasma, erythrocyte, leukocyte. Clear? So here intracellular fluid, that is intravascular, inside the blood vessels the fluid is going, that we can call it as intravascular fluid. Clear? Here the plasma is occupied 3 liters of fluid, then erythrocyte, leukocyte, thrombocyte occupied 3 liters of intracellular fluid, that is intravascular, so approximately 6 liter. The next one is interstitial space fluid. These all three coming under the extracellular space. Extracellular fluid, it is occupied in the 1/3 of fluid occupied in our body. Here, the fluid that surrounds the cell and total about 11 to 12 liters in an adult. The fluid which is present surrounds the cell, means out of the cell, the cell space I have already mentioned you. In that place, see, this is a cell A, B. In between these cells, the fluids are present. So that cells we can call it as, that fluids we can call it as interstitial fluids. Okay, for interstitial fluids, the good example is lymphatic system. So the next one is transcellular space fluid or transcellular fluid. This is a very smallest division of extracellular fluid compartment. It contains only 1 liter of fluid. For example, for pericardial space, here in heart there is a pericardial fluid will be there. Then synovial joints. Then CS of cerebrospinal fluid there. So this type of fluid we can call it as transcellular fluid. For this image, it will show the intracellular fluid is occupying 63% of water content. When compared to extracellular fluid, this is very high. Extracellular fluid is 37%. So totally 100%. Here, in extracellular compartment, there are three divisions. That is the intravascular, interstitial, then transcellular fluid. Clear? I hope in this you have understood very well. When compared to all the things, this transcellular fluid is very low. That is a 1 liter of fluid is occupying in the some of the places. What all they? That is a cerebrospinal fluid. Then pericardial space, synovial joints, intraocular. That is eye. In the present in eye, there is a fluid will be there. So that is a intraocular fluid. Then pleural fluid in the lungs, sweat, and digestive secretions. So for those places, the fluid which is present, that we can call it as transcellular fluid. Clear? Clear? I hope this you have understood very well. Then how much amount of water and solid in our body? Total body mass index, that is a 45% of solid, 50%, 55% of fluids for the female. Then when compared to male, that is a 60% of fluid, then 40% of solid. I already told you extracellular fluid is occupied 1/3, then intracellular fluid is occupied in the 2/3. So it is approximately 100%. That is 60%. 80% of in that extracellular fluid, interstitial fluid is occupying 80%. Then 20% of plasma. Clear? That is in that plasma, that is a transcellular space fluids also there. Next one is the percentage of water in the tissues. Based on the age, the percentage of water which is present in the tissue. When we were in newborn period, during that time, that is 80% of water content will be there. When we become adult, for male person 60, for female person 50, then old age it will be in 45%. The next one is maintain equilibrium. How these ICF and ECF, intracellular fluid and extracellular fluid, how it is maintaining the equilibrium. Okay, what is meant by equilibrium? So equilibrium means that is a balancing state. The based on fluids and electrolyte balance in our body, all system is in balancing state. So that we can call it as balance. That we can call it as equilibrium. Body fluids normally moves between ICF and ECF in an effort to maintain an equilibrium between the spaces. Loss of fluids from the body can disturb the equilibrium. See, this equilibrium state, this balancing state, it is decreasing or increasing. It will be affected by, it will cause any health related issues to the human beings. Clear? So the next one is electrolytes. What is meant by electrolytes? Fluid we have seen, that is intracellular fluid, extracellular fluid. What is meant by electrolyte? Electrolyte, it's some type of chemicals that producing the electrical charges to function the human being properly. Okay, so what are they? See, electrolytes or body fluids or active chemicals that we can call it as cations and anions. These cations and anions you have studied in the 12th standard itself. These electrolyte concentration in ICF differ from those in ECF. These electrolytes, this will be very intracellular fluid and extracellular fluid. Okay, here the major cations, what all the cations will be there in our body? That is the sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and hydrogen ions. Then what are all the anions? That is chloride, bicarbonate, phosphate, proteins, and sulfate ions. So what are all the cations and anions? These cations and anions producing some chemical charges to stimulate our body function properly. For example, the sodium is maintaining the blood pressure. Uh, then some of the functions doing in our body. So similarly, when the person is affected by disease condition, if you are going through ward, please go through the case sheet, what are the blood reports, investigations they have taken. In that, the CBC complete blood count, there you can get this type of electrolytes value. So depends upon that value, the disease condition will be treated by physician. Clear? So how these body fluids are transporting in our body? These body fluids, that is the intracellular fluid, extracellular fluid, how it is transporting based on 5 methods. What are they? The first one is diffusion, the second one is osmosis, third one is filtration, then hydrostatic pressure and osmolarity. Why we have to study? Why we need these fluids and electrolytes? What are they that we have studied? Why we need this transportation method? See, based on this transportation method, how much amount of fluids are absorbing in our body, how it is functioning. If it is absorbed not properly, what will be the what is the disease will be creating. So, because of that reason, we need to study the body fluid transport. Clear? Next slide will be discussing one by one detail. The next one is diffusion. Why we need this method of transportation? You may have doubt this. Uh, Here, the diffusion, osmosis, filtration. Why we need the inside the cell and between the cell or outside of the cell, we need fluid transportation based on this diffusion, osmosis, filtration, and hydrostatic pressure. Not only for transport the oxygen and carbon dioxide, transport the nutrients and blood products from outside of the cell to inside of the cell, we need the transportation method. There are 4 or 5 types of transportation methods. The first one is diffusion. You please imagine this is like a cell. Okay, this one is a cell membrane. So for example, if you are putting salt content over the water, the place which is present in the salt content, this we can consider as a higher concentration. This salt is spreading slowly from this place. This is a higher concentration. From this place to it is crossing the cell membrane and all over the places. So that is a lower concentration. The place which is salt content, that we can call it as higher concentration. The place which is not in the salt content, that we can call it as lower concentration. Okay, here in that diffusion method, the salt is spreading. How it is spreading from higher concentration to lower concentration. Similarly, in our cell, 1 minute, this is the cell size inside the nucleus. Similarly, in our cell also, from the outside of the cell, the oxygen is coming, then simultaneously the carbon dioxide is relieving from the cell. So this is the one good example for diffusion. For example, I will show the another image. This is the perfume that is spraying over the water. The perfume which is sprayed over the water. So this place we can call it as high concentration. The perfume is slowly spreading over all over the water. So the perfume is spreading from this high concentration to the lower concentration. So this is a simple example. Or otherwise, if you are keeping cake over the room, so this is a cake. Imagine. So this cake smell is spreading from this area to like this, spreading all over the room. So this is a high concentration from the cake place, that we can call it as high concentration. It is spreading all over the place, that is the low concentration. So this is also one of the good method of diffusion. I hope this you can understand about this diffusion. So the best example is carbon dioxide. The oxygen and carbon dioxide are exchanging in the lungs. From the lung capillaries, from the alveoli, oxygen is uh, spreading to the pulmonary valves. pulmonary blood vessels. Then carbon dioxide is taking from the blood vessels to the alveoli. Simultaneously, this process is happening, so that we can call it as diffusion. Okay. This one is osmosis and osmolarity. Osmosis and osmolarity means it is like a diffusion, but in the diffusion, that is high concentration to lower concentration, the fluid is transporting, that is crossing the cell membrane. Here what happened, this movement of fluids from lower concentration to higher concentration through a selectively permeable membrane. I already told you that this is a cell inside the nucleus. This part we can, this place we can call it as, this place is we can consider as a cell membrane. So when the fluid is coming and going in and outside of the cells, some of the solvent or solid particles crossing the cell membrane, some of the things it is not crossing the cell membrane. So that is this part, this one we can call it as cell membrane or permeable membrane. Clear? So here what happened, in that one glass, for example, they have given one glass, there is a cell membrane, that is a permeable membrane. Uh, there is a salt molecules, then water molecules. The blue color, that is a salt molecules, that small particles now that we can consider as a water molecules. Here the movement is happening from lower concentration to the higher concentration. These salt molecules, I already told you in the before slide, salt molecule is a higher concentration. These salt molecules will not cross over the this permeable membrane. Only the water content, that is a lower concentration molecules, will crossing the semi-permeable membrane. So see this image, you can able to understand easily. See this water content, that is a low water content. This is a low concentration of molecule. This low concentration to the higher concentration, the movement is occur. So this process we can call it as osmosis. This is one method of fluid transportation. For example, here they have given water and salt, that is a sodium chloride. Here the water content is moving with the selected permeable membrane. The salt content, that is high concentration, is not moving. So that is a different. I hope this is understand for you. Again and again I am telling why you have why you need to study this diffusion, osmosis, filtration based on the fluid, based on these methods in our body. The fluid is transporting and exchanging the materials, nutrient or waste product, through lungs, kidney, then gut. For each and every system, the fluid transportation methods is occur based on this method. Next, we can move on to the types of solution or types of fluids. There are three types of fluids are there: hypertonic, hypotonic, and isotonic. Hypertonic means somewhat it is increasing. Hypo means somewhat it is decreasing. Isotonic means that is a normal in manner. Mm, the method of fluid transportation, and there are five methods we have seen in that: diffusion and osmosis, osmolarity. Here what happened for hypertonic solutions? So why we have to study in between these method of fluid transportation? So based on that five method, you should know the which method the fluid, how the fluid is transporting. Based on that fluid transportation, how the cell size become shrink or swollen. So that things you have to know. So because of that, in between you have to know this type of solutions. Okay. So here what happened in the hypertonic solution. So remember this is a cell wall or plasma membrane. Okay. Or permeable membrane. So this is a yellow color circle. So what happened here? First you can consider 1 minute. This one is a high concentration, this one is a low concentration. This we can consider as a salt content. Okay, this is water content. Clear? Here, solute solvent, like that they used to say solute means that is a solid. For example, we can take here is a salt. Solvent means that is a water, that is dissolved one, so that we can call it a solvent. First, you understand what is meant by solute and solvent. Solute means some of the solid content. Okay, solvent means some of the dissolved content. That is a water. So for solid content, we can take the example of sodium chloride, that is a salt. Then water content, that is a water. Clear? Here in osmosis, what we have seen, that is a so fluids moving from lower concentration to higher concentration area. Here, lot of lot of water content is there. So this water content is crossing the semi-permeable membrane, that is a plasma membrane. This is a cell wall. See, this one is a cell wall. From this cell wall, this water content is moving and maintaining the equilibrium status. This water content is moving and maintaining the equilibrium status. This is happened in the diffusion process. Clear? Diffusion process, the movement of fluids from high concentration to the lower concentration area. So that is the diffusion process. Okay. Here what happened in this hypertonic solution, the method of fluid transportation, that is the osmosis. The fluid is moving from lower concentration to the higher concentration. The water is, see, this water content is moving through the cell wall or plasma membrane from the lower concentration to the higher concentration. So automatically the cell size will be shrink. This water only can able to move through the plasma membrane. This is a big in size, so it cannot move. This salt content it cannot move. Because of that reason, this cell size become shrink. The cell size has to be like this. So all the water content is coming out. The cell size will be shrink very small in condition. Okay, this we can call it as hypertonic. Then hypotonic, what happened, inside the cell there is a lot of solid, that is a solid content, that is more in salt content. So automatically what happened outside of the cell, that is a water content. Here is a low concentration area. The fluid is moving from low concentration area to high concentration area. So automatically this water content is crossing over the cell membrane and swollen the cell size. So it will be become hypotonic. The cell size has to be like this. If it is normal, means the cell size has to be increasing. That is a swollen. Okay, this is a hypotonic. Then what happened into the isotonic? Same status, that is the maintaining equilibrium status. Water content and salt content is in equal state, so that we can call it as isotonic. Is hypertonic, hypotonic and isotonic. Have you heard about these things when you are going to the ward? See, if you are going to the ward hereafter, if you are going to the ward, you can see the prescribed IV fluids administration. In that, the physician has mentioned the hypertonic solution, isotonic solution, or otherwise you can see IV fluids in normal saline, DNS, dextrose, normal saline, in that and all, you can be able to see which type of solution like that. Based on this method, the IV fluids are prescribing. Okay, next please. Hope this will be understand. This you might understand. Next one is filtration. Filtration is the movement of solids and solvent by hydrostatic pressure. When the fluids is moving in and around the cell, so based on this hydrostatic pressure, okay, higher pressure area to an area of lower pressure area. Inside the blood vessels, the pressure will be more when compared to out of the blood vessels. So based on these hydrostatic pressure, the fluid is transporting. Clear? Then hydrostatic pressure. What is meant by hydrostatic pressure? See, some type of pressure which is maintained inside the blood vessels. Okay, here if the pressure exerted by the weight of the solutions. Um, It depends upon the solution of weight. The pressure has to be exerted. It is more or less. Okay. Water and diffusible solids move out of the solid that has a higher hydrostatic pressure by the process filtration. Water and diffusible solid. See, water means that is a solvent. Diffusible solid means that is a solid content. Move out of the solid that has a higher hydrostatic pressure by the process of filtration. See, before slide we have seen the filtration. When it is filtering to the body fluids, during that time some of the pressure has to be maintained. So that pressure we can call it as hydrostatic pressure. Clear? The next, gain and losses. The fluid loss and gain based on these organs. What are they? The first one is GI system, that is the gastrointestinal system. There, when we are taking food or after that for digestion purpose, the lot of fluids are required to digest and transport the food materials. Nearly, it will take 8 liters of fluid is consuming. So, one of the system, that is a GI system, there is a fluid loss and gain. Then next one is the skin. Skin is the very largest organ in our body. So through sweatings, used to lose 1 liter of fluid. Then through the kidney to excreting the toxic materials. Through that the fluid is getting lost. Then lungs also, nearly when the lungs is exhaling 300 ml of fluid is getting to loss. Okay, so these are all the organs mostly responsible for to loss and gains of fluids. Okay, fluids and electrolyte balance. The next one is homeostatic mechanism. Okay, so what is meant by homeostasis? So homeostasis means that is to maintaining constant internal environment. That conditions we can call it as homeostasis. Clear? Wherever we can go, wherever we can live, so our body internal temperature will get to adapt depends upon the external temperature. For example, if we are living in cold country or if we are living in hot country or in climate change, so during that time our internal body temperature has to be get to adapt depends upon external environment. So that conditions we can call it as homeostasis. Okay, hope this might clear for you. Then the organs, this is it's helping to maintain the homeostatic mechanism in our body. Okay, the heart and kidneys act together. Through the heart, the lot of fluids, blood is pumping throughout the body. Then it's circulating through the kidney and helps to form the urine. Okay, the next one is adrenal gland. Adrenal gland, it's secreting the hormone which is aldosterone cortisol, which plays a main role to balancing imbalancing the sodium level in our body. Okay, the third one is pituitary and parathyroid gland. This parathyroid gland is maintaining calcium and phosphatase balance in our body. Okay, then the pituitary gland is maintaining controlling osmotic pressure in our body. Then it maintaining that pressure in our body, that is the osmotic pressure. Then it's a retention of urine also. So this pituitary gland is helps to control and maintaining the osmotic pressure. Okay, lungs we have already seen. So this is a organ which is helps to maintain our homeostatic mechanism. Okay, next please. The next one is fluid volume disturbances. Here, in fluid volume disturbances, lot of conditions are there. There is hypovolemia, hypervolemia. Here I have mentioned the hypovolemia. Hypo means that is decreased volemia. Volume means volume. Then mia means blood. That is decreased blood volume. That conditions we can call it as hypovolemia. It's one of the conditions which is coming under the fluid and electrolyte balance. So this will be the next video. Then I'll upload soon. If the person is healthy, their blood vessels would be like this. If the person is having hypovolemia or hypovolemic shock, it will be like this. Okay, there is fluid content is lost. So till this, in this video, we have seen what is meant by fluids, what is meant by fluid component, what all they, then what is meant by intercellular, extracellular fluid, then method of fluid transportation. So each and everything we have seen. If you have any doubt in this topic, please put it in the comment box. Learn smartly, don't read hard. Okay. So learn the basic concept or read properly to be act as a to be like a smartness. Thank you.